What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 486th episode of TSR Live. It is Friday, July 12th, 2019. Played around a little bit with the lighting, trying something a little bit different. Looks like I'm telling like an old school ghost story. You remember when you used to do the flashlight? Anyway, just doing some playing around here. I'll check this back on the replay. We have reached the end of Interracial Relationship Week here at TSR Towers. I have lost some subscribers. I've lost some patrons, but I gained a lot more than I lost on both ends. And what that tells me is that men are here for the truth and not an echo chamber proclaiming that we black people are the master race. Black people talk all the time about white supremacy, and listen, that is alive and well. There are white supremacists out there, but that has spawned off black supremacists, and neither one is good. Every race has their strengths and weaknesses. Every race has opportunities for improvement, as well as things that we excel at, and admitting these things without getting in our feelings is what this show is all about. So it's very good to see that dudes are waking up. As always, we are streaming live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So however you are watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your day. Let's get right to it. So I forget who sent this. Who sent this to me? I think I actually looked for this on the internet somewhere. I think I just did a quick Google search or a quick YouTube search, and I came across this video called "Should Black Women Give Up on Black Men?" And in this video, it talks about a book written by a guy by the name of, he's a black man by the name of Ralph Richard Banks. And he wants to know, is marriage for white people only? That's what's going on here. So what I'm going to do this in the customary Donovan Sharpe way. I'm going to play the video, and then I'm going to break down the video as we go along. So here we go.
White people. That's the question being asked by an author of a new book. Is marriage for white people? How the African-American marriage decline affects everyone. It's got a lot of people talking right now. Stanford law professor Ralph Richard Banks says it's time for black women to, this is a quote, give up the good fight on marrying a black man. Here he is.
The way I think of that is that women have been asked to carry a great load.
Yes. Mr. Banks is 100% correct here. Okay? Women have been asked, black women have been asked to carry a great load, but there are two reasons for this. Okay? Number one, black men make up the biggest percentage of prisoners in the United States. What this means is that there are far less black men to go around. Then you add to the fact that the highest value black men are dating and marrying non-black women. That reduces the number even more. Number two is feminism. You see, black women think that it is their birthright to be the heads of household. And we can thank Steve Harvey. We can thank Oprah Winfrey. We can thank Iyanla Vanzant. We can thank Tyler Perry, among others. Those four are your ringleaders. So yeah, Ralph is right. They do have to carry a bigger load, but a lot of that is self-inflicted. Let's just keep that 100. Listen, the stalemate between black men and black women, it's not all black women's fault. We can sit here and talk all the shit we want about black women if we want to. Guess what? We are also a part of the problem. But the reason why we end up winning and laughing at the end of the day is because we have other options. Black women do not. I've talked about that this week as well. Let's continue.
Black women shoulder a lot of the burden, in short, of black men's struggles. And I am asking women to put the burden down. Many women think that they're attracted to black men. They are attracted to black men. But attraction itself is complicated.
Attraction itself is complicated. This is what mainstream media and most people do not realize. And I talked about this earlier in the week. There is a difference between attraction and arousal. The things that make a man attractive are not the same things that make him sexually arousing. A man who makes $60,000 a year, has a 401k, has benefits, he owns a home, drives a reliable Honda Accord, and has a great credit score, he is attractive. A man who is tall, who has washboard abs, tattoos, a square jaw, 5 o'clock shadow, rides a motorcycle, he is sexually arousing. People often conflate attraction with arousal by using the word attractive when arousing would be the better term to use. Now, of course, women aren't going to say, well, I'm aroused by him or he is arousing, because we've used the word attractive in place of arousal so long that saying that he's arousing to me, it sounds kind of funny. The vernacular is just a little bit different. But the fact that this guy says attraction itself is complicated, what he is talking about here, gentlemen, he is talking about the difference between a man who has an attractive lifestyle and a man who is sexually arousing, which here in the manosphere, the red pill, that's not complicated at all.
One of the things that I discovered in the course of writing this book is that there's a whole host of fears and desires and anxieties that animate black women's attraction to black men.
Okay, Banks recently wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal and said that 70% of black women aren't married. That's roughly true. Okay, so is it time for single, educated, and working black women to just forget the notion of marrying a black man and look outside their race? A new Gallup poll shows more and more people are receptive to the idea.
And therein lies the problem. The single, educated black woman. This is the crux of the situation, guys. Educated black women, strong, independent, educated, ambitious black women are perpetually single. And it has very little to do with the lack of qualified men, guys. Men of all races ain't trying to deal with women who think they're a higher class of people simply because they have a piece of paper that says they're educated. I refer to this, like I said, as the education certificate of participation. I actually discussed that a couple of episodes ago. You guys can go and check that out.
Interracial marriage. In 1968, the numbers were quite low for whites approving of interracial marriage. This is a Gallup poll from USA Today, but today those numbers skyrocketed for both blacks and whites. So does the author have a point? Is the black marriage nearly obsolete? Is the idea just for...
Okay, so I know that my screen is kind of blocking that, but it says 83% of whites approve of interracial dating and 96% of blacks approve of interracial dating, when obviously it wasn't like that before. Okay, that's all well and good, but here's the problem, and I've talked about this ad nauseum this week. Black women are unable to date outside of their race. They can't do it. Yes, there are black women who date and marry outside of their race, but those are the outliers. Only the top 1% of black women can regularly date outside of their race. And the top one, and by top 1%, I mean top 1% in looks and in femininity. I'm talking top 1% in every visually or quantifiable attraction arousal measure. Only the best of the best of the best black women can date high value men interracially on the regular. The average black woman cannot date outside her race. The average white guy does not want to get with the average black woman. He doesn't want to do it. I don't want to hear it. And if the average white guy doesn't want to get with the average black woman, the high value white guys definitely don't want to get with black women. Again, I've talked about this ad nauseum. Just because she had a one night stand with a white guy doesn't mean she swirls, guys. Just because she had a white boyfriend for 3 months, 5.5 years ago, doesn't mean she dates white guys. Just because a white guy tried to holler at her one time doesn't mean she's a swirler. Black females cannot date outside of their race for many reasons, but the main reason is because they are at the very bottom of the sexual totem pole. The outliers and exceptions do not make the rule, period.
White people have a black couple here who says, hello, I'm right here. Joining us more to talk about this is Lamar and Ronnie Tyler, bloggers for Black and Married with Kids. All right, Tylers, I guess my first question is, what is your reaction to what you have just heard? A lot of people have been talking about this.
I just think the book is dangerous, and it's sending a dangerous message.
Dangerous?
Yes.
Okay.
I definitely think it is just perpetuating all of the negative stereotypes that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, 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 blah. Listen, now listen. I actually agree with her, but this is just regular conjecture. You guys are going to quickly see that nothing that comes from either one of their mouths, this successful black couple, nothing that comes from either one of their mouths is an original thought. Everything they will say within the next, 3.5 minutes of this video, you could have seen or heard on Facebook or Twitter or on YouTube. There is nothing original about what any of these people say. Now, there are negative stereotypes about black people, black men, black women, but like I said earlier this week, stereotypes exist for a reason. As Chester is barking at something on TV. This is why black marriage is obsolete. It's all well and good and cute that these two are married, but they're the outlier. And touting yourself as the norm, like these two people are, this is irresponsible. They're like, okay, yes, black marriage can work. Okay, for you guys it worked, not for most black people. Touting yourself as the norm when you are clearly the outlier, that's what's dangerous.
And now is the time for black people to come together and to work together, not to look outside of our community.
We've heard it all before.
For the answers.
Dangerous how so? And I want you to answer this, because he seems to be putting a lot of negativity out there on black men.
Sure. Well, I think what he's done is created a perfect mechanism to sell books, but not so much to help African-American women.
All right.
And I think, he's portraying this like this is some type of help tool for them, but not at all. I think anytime when you say that one entire group of people, specifically based on race, is bad and another group is good, then it doesn't make any sense at all.
That's not what he said, bruh. He said that black women should jump ship because of their lack of options. Again, nothing that comes out of this guy's mouth belongs to him. Like his wife, he sounds like a Facebook or Twitter post. Oh, he's just trying to sell books. Everybody says that about everybody. The author of this book was talking facts. And this guy, I don't even know what his name is. This simp is countering those facts with feelings. He's trying to sell books. He says black women are bad. It doesn't help black women. Those are not rational rebuttals, my man.
It's not helping anybody. Instead, the conversation should be, if there are problems in the African-American community, how can we uplift the community? What can we do to show them that marriage is positive, to show them that parenting is positive and where it's at? Instead of, making notions like these that basically just get you on TV, in the media all the time.
Oh, see, here he goes. Again, this guy really, honestly, listen. So why don't we show them a positive message? Because that's not what this guy does. Bruh. This guy, Ralph Banks, law professor at Stanford, he points out uncomfortable truths about the black community, and they don't like it, which is fine, but you can't change what he does or thinks. This is why black people come at me. They call me dangerous. Right? I get people in the chat, oh, white supremacy worked, blah, all that same bullshit conjecture. All those shit. No. Your problem is that I'm right. But because you don't want to confront unflattering truths about black people, now you want to throw shade on me. That's exactly what this guy is doing. This guy, Ralph Banks, is 100% right in what he says. Black marriage is on the decline. Most black men are not really worth marrying. But guess what? Most black women aren't either.
To sell books.
Well, because some of the numbers that he put out there are true. A white woman is twice as likely to get married as a black woman. Some of what he is saying is true, is what you take exception to, what you say are solutions that aren't actually solutions. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay. Listen, this is the problem with black people. Anytime a black man or a black woman points out, again, unflattering truths about the black community as a whole, the pushback we get is emotional. Now, this isn't surprising because the black community is run by black women, so emotional responses are to be expected. But instead of clapping back at guys who write stuff like this, how about you actually read it and say to yourself, you know what? I don't like what he's written here, and I am feeling some type of way about this, but he's right. The black community wants smoke to be blown up its collective ass all the time. And that's why the black community and black marriages are non-existent. Nobody wants to have an honest conversation about what's really going on here, because anytime anybody keeps it all the way real, we get called all kinds of names. Coon, sell out. The list goes on and on. This fake couple are no different. And again, this is what happens when you react to hard and fast truths. Now, what this woman just said, now some of these statistics are true, right? She hit him with facts. She says, well, listen, some of these are facts. Let's hear their response.
That are not actually solutions. So if it's true, let's get down to why it's true and bring forth real solutions for them.
If it's true, okay? If it's true, she says, let's bring forth solutions. Guys, myself and other guys like me, we've been offering solutions forever. I did a video called 12 Things Black Women Need to Do to Become Attractive to Black Men Again. I've done videos that help men of all races become better men and more attractive to women. I'm not the only one. Myself, Tommy Sotomayor, Minister Jap, all those guys. There are scores of content creators who offer solutions, but here's the problem. They don't like the way we offer solutions. Because we're not nice about it, because we don't sugarcoat things, the message gets lost. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. They say this all the time, but it really is what you say. I remember when LeBron left Cleveland for Miami back in 2010. All of those Cleveland fans burned his jersey. Oh, I can't believe he left. He's a sellout. He's a traitor. I'm not a witness. I'm a victim. All that other clever stuff, right? And the pervasive narrative in terms of why they were upset about him going to Miami, everybody, well, it's not what he did. It's how he did it. No, it's not the decision. It wasn't that. It wasn't the way he left. It's that he left. And the decision, which, by the way, helped a lot of kids because it did it for charity, the decision was just your excuse to be mad about it. You were mad that he left anyway. But now you want to say, well, it's not what, well, it's really how he left. No, you'd have been pissed off at LeBron either way. I have never heard a man ever say this. You know, Laura unceremoniously dumped me last night and gave me no warning. But you want to know something? I like the way she handled that. Like, she broke up with me like a real pro, so I can't really be mad at that. No, she might have done it in the best way possible. You're still gonna be pissed at Laura, not because of why she did it, because she did it. Listen, this is the problem with bull. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. That's their excuse to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to what we're trying to say here. Just because I'm not nice about it doesn't make what I say any less true. Just because you're feeling some type of way about my tone of voice doesn't mean there isn't truth in what I say. But again, this is feminine reaction. Females react emotionally to uncomfortable truths, and this is why black women are in the shitter. We got guys out here like Derek Jackson and Tyler Perry blowing all the smoke up their asses with the sugary sweet narrative, right? But black women are too stupid to realize that what these dudes are advising them to do ain't working. But then they want to turn around and blame guys like me. This is why black women are in the shit, because of guys like you. No! It's because of Derek Jackson. It's because of Steve Harvey. It's because of Oprah. Blame those guys. You guys would rather eat sweet poison than choke down some hard truth. Derek Jackson tells these women, oh, you're fine the way you are. Right? I tell black women all the time, get fit, get feminine, drop the attitude. Derek Jackson tells them, baby girl, you fine the way you are. Single moms for grown men only. But it's my fault you can't find a man? It's my fault you're mad because you're single? You took his advice, right? But it's my fault you're still sleeping in a cold bed? Get the hell out of here with that.
Community. Okay.
Yeah, you know, and I think, interracial dating is fine. I think who you fall in love with is who you fall in love with. But again, you know, when you say this group of people in this particular instance, which is black men, are bad and you shouldn't be with them. And I think the craziest thing about all of this is the fact that he's married to a black woman. Mm-hmm. So what if she took his own advice? They wouldn't be married now.
Unbelievable. This guy is a fucking female. You hear what this guy just said? Guys, listen, Ralph Richard Banks is a professor at Stanford Law and an author. He is not talking about himself when he's talking about the lack of black men available to black women. Take his advice and leave? What kind of argument is that? I know that is the kind of argument that women make. There was no reason. There was no rationale in this dude's argument. Lamar Tyler. Honey, you said stay away from black men, so I'm going to divorce you even though you're a highly successful black man. That was quite literally the yo mama black argument. That's what that was. As if to say that because your mother is black, that your right to talk about the deficiencies of black women is somehow stripped away because you can't talk about your mama. What?
So what you're saying is, okay, let me make sure I'm clear. He's saying look outside of your race because there's a problem with your race, as opposed to just be with whoever you choose to be with, regardless of what their race is. Is it?
Guys, if we can't be honest with ourselves about ourselves, then how can we improve as a people? Mr. Banks is merely pointing out the fact that black women should consider dating outside of their race because of their lack of options. And this guy uses the emotional yo mama black argument. Newsflash, bruh. That argument is as old as your wife, homie. He went, you know what? He went female, so I'ma go female. How many years does she have on him? How many years does Miss Tyler have on Mr. Tyler? 15, 20 years? Dude is married to a woman a decade and a half older than he is, and he's using the yo mama black argument. Bruh, your wife is yo mama. You're using the yo mama black argument on national TV against a law professor who's written 2 books. This dude's just an internet blogger who, by the way, is also on TV now. So who's using television to get ahead now? Can't stand dudes like this, man.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's this 2-part thing.
Okay.
Part of it is that, and part of it is this thing about the black man being so bad, just perpetuating these continual stereotypes.
Hang on a second. Let's go back.
Craziest thing about all of this is the fact that he's married to a black woman. So what if she took his own advice? They wouldn't be married now.
So what you're saying is, okay, let me make sure I'm clear. He's saying, look outside of your race because there's a problem with your race, as opposed to just be with whoever you choose to be with, regardless of what their race is.
Okay, see? Now the interviewer let him off the hook. That is a much better argument on their behalf, Mr. and Miss Tyler. She sees that see, here's the thing. The interviewer understands, she knows that they don't have an argument to rebuttal, right? They know that they don't have an argument against Ralph Richard Banks. And they're using these ghetto talking points, and she knows that shit's not going to fly on headline news. So she had to think on the fly and bail him out with a much more reasonable, rational argument, and thankfully they took the bait.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's this 2-part thing. Part of it is that, and part of it is this thing about the black man being so bad, just perpetuating these continual stereotypes that we've had.
Bruh, again, there he goes with the Facebook memes. Stereotypes exist for a reason. Lamar, these don't just come from nowhere. This dude is acting like a female. Guys, I've said it twice. I'm going to say it again. None of what this dude is saying, nothing he is saying, are his own thoughts or own ideas. They're all Facebook and Twitter playbook talking points. That's it. If you think stereotypes don't exist, then why don't you have the facts and figures to refute them? Oh, I know why. Because they're true. There are more black men in prison than in college, gentlemen. Real talk. 77% of all black children are born out of wedlock. Real talk. Black men are more prone to violence because of being raised by single mothers and having higher levels of testosterone. Real talk. Guys, that's just the beginning. Saying, well, these stereotypes are just untrue and perpetuating, that is literally pointless. This dude is wasting everyone's time. Nothing he has said has changed anyone's mind about anything.
For generations and generations. And the problem becomes when you have people in communities that don't see marriage every day, that don't see those positive images of marriage portrayed, they start to believe things like this. When they see books and they see movies and they see different things, some of the marriages for white people, they start to actually get that into their conscience, and then that passes down from generation to generation.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, when are you going to wake up and realize the truth, homie? Like, when are you going to realize the truth? Kids who grew up in these communities don't see marriages and families because they are non-existent in the black community. They see it in books and movies generation to generation. No! Books and movies have nothing to do with this. It is what they see. Guys, this is another disingenuous black man blaming the problems in the black community on television and movies and other media and not blaming the black community. This gross lack of accountability is why the black community is in the shit right now. This dude wants to blame everyone and everything but the black community itself. And, oh, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, when's the last time Pookie and Ray Ray ever picked up a book, bruh? You talk about movies and books. Well, no, all of a sudden, now, movies and television. Now because this dude wrote a book, now you want to talk about books? Since when do hood niggas read books? The hell out of here with that.
Because there are plenty of positive images of black marriages out there. I mean, we've got the Obamas. I mean,
exactly.
There's Will and Jada.
Oh, now she's pandering. The Obamas? Will and Jada? So she's using celebrity marriages as an example when this dude just got done saying that mainstream media is the reason black marriages are portrayed in a negative light? Again, this is another problem with black people. We can't use the Obamas or the Smiths or the Carters, which is Jay-Z and Beyonce, as the bar because those marriages aren't normal. The Obamas are the first black first family ever. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett are movie stars. Jay-Z and Beyonce are worth $1.5 billion. Black people need to quit looking at these outliers because those are what's poisoning the black marriage. This is why black women who are with black men, they're never satisfied. Why? Because they're looking at the Obamas. They're looking at the Smiths. My marriage is great, but it ain't Obama great. It ain't Jay-Z and Beyonce great. Then they blow up their marriages and relationships looking for that mythical fantasy because some reporter on headline news used that as an example to aspire to.
If you don't believe all that tabloid mess is out there.
Right.
An interracial couple, there's Iman and David Bowie. There's lots of positive images out there if you choose.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Black women dating white men. Here we go. Again with the outliers. Holy moly. Zoe Saldana, Paula Patton, Serena Williams. What do all of those women have in common? They are the outliers. This is the problem with the black community. This is actually the problem with everything. This is actually a problem with everybody. A lot of people like to look at they try to aspire to the outlier. Right? They look at the outlier as the norm. Listen, sisters, listen, man. This is Uncle Donovan from the heart. I'm trying to help y'all out. Y'all can hate me. You guys can call me names. But if you haven't heard anything I've said this week, listen to this. Stop using celebrity marriages as the bar. Stop using this as your example. You ain't Beyonce. You ain't Jada. You damn sure ain't Michelle. You ain't any of those. Barack's and Sean Carter's and Willard Smiths aren't out there looking for y'all. Not gonna happen.
See them.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're doing with our website, trying to actually build upon those positive images. Because if you don't see it, then maybe you don't think it's possible to be that. And so it's very important to have those. You know,
it's funny. It's interesting. There's Iman and David Bowie. This is so funny. This couple is literally making my point for me. There are so few marriages between everyday brothers and everyday sisters that they have to use celebrities as examples. Well, we like to show this on our website to show that it is possible. This is the problem, guys. This is the problem. Here she has a picture of David Bowie and Iman. David Bowie is he's Ziggy Stardust. He was a rock star. Iman is a supermodel. Come on. What are we doing? Like, for serious?
Yeah, and it's just an example. We do documentaries. In our second documentary, You Saved Me, 8 couples, African-American couples from newlywed over 50 years. We premiered it in D.C., sold out over 540 seats in advance of the screening. They had to put...
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Now, see? They rescued it there in the end. That's what I'm talking about, as you guys can see me eating something there on the screen. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Those are the kinds of things that they need to be putting on their website. They did a documentary, 8 African-American couples that have been married for 50 years or longer. That's the example. Those are the people you need to focus on. Not the Obamas. Not Will and Jada. Ziggy Stardust and Iman. Are you kidding me with that? No, again, guys. My message to men, just my whole program, my whole persona is predicated upon one thing and one thing only: self-improvement, right? If you want to improve your prospects with women, you need to improve yourself as a man. Get yourself fit, save money, take up productive hobbies, learn to fight, etc., etc. Add agency, learn to cook, learn different skills. If you make yourself more attractive, if you have an attractive and fun lifestyle, then attractive women will want to be with you. But in no way, shape, or form do I tell you guys, hey, you want to know how to get women? You got to be super rich. You got to have a 12-inch dick. You got to have movie star looks. Why don't I if it were that easy, then why doesn't everybody just preach it? Because that's not the norm, guys. That's not the norm. The advice that these people have to give, it needs to be realistic. The black community is, and this is sad but true. But the reason why the black community, how can I put it almost perpetuates itself. There are so few examples of marriages in the black community. They're so few and far between. They're almost forced to use celebrity couples, but you can't do that, because then when you actually have someone who is in a good marriage, just like I said earlier, she says, well, man, I mean, we have a great marriage, got a couple of kids, I make good money, he makes good money, but man, I wish we had what Jay-Z and Beyonce had. Man, I wish we had what the Obamas had. Tell me you haven't heard women talk about that. Go to any Reddit forum with black women. Watch any Tyler Perry movie. All of the couples are, both of the couples are attractive. Or, both people are attractive. They both make great money. They have kids. But guess what? They're still yakking at each other. Yeah. Angela from Why Did I Get Married? Tasha Smith, by the way, right across the bridge over there in Camden, New Jersey. No wonder she talks out of the side of her neck. Marriage is not just for white people, guys. Newsflash. But if you want to make real improvements in the community, if you want to make real improvements for yourself, you cannot aspire to be what is impossible to be. Man, I'm going to be the next Jay-Z. Okay, great. If that's what you aspire to, that's fine. But you need to be working toward that, right? That's self-improvement. We're talking about relationships here. We're talking about black marriages. The bar is so low, guys. It is so low. The only examples we have of black marriages are celebrity marriages and the first black first family. Sad but true. And listen, good for this guy for doing documentaries on real world, what did they say? 8 couples who have been married for 50 years or more. Good for that guy. That's where they need to keep it at. But quit using outlier examples. Sisters, quit watching outlier TV. Quit watching Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy, a short, fat black woman is the head of surgery. What? And she has a tall 6'4", good-looking. Get out of here with that. You kidding me? No, that doesn't happen in the real world. I said all that to say this. And gentlemen, you guys are guilty of this too. Stop using television as your guide. Stop using movies as your guide. We got all these women who think they want to be fighter pilots now because of Captain Marvel. No, Carol Danvers doesn't exist. Women are not fighter pilots, guys. Women can't handle the pressure of 5 Gs. Not gonna happen. Keep it all the way 100, guys. Ladies, you too. Stop comparing yourself. Stop aspiring to the impossible. No one's ever going to have a Jay-Z and Beyonce relationship. No one's ever going to have a Michelle Obama, Barack Obama relationship. You need to improve yourself and find the best man possible. And this is exactly what I tell guys. Listen, we bag on black women all the time. We got a lot of brothers out here talk a lot of shit about black women. Y'all ain't shit neither. Listen, man, a lot of brothers overweight, live with their mama, take the bus to work, don't even have a job working at Burger King. Talking about, yeah, man, I'm trying to get me a dime piece, bruh. You need to put down the dime bag and hit the fucking gym. Very, very good week. Interracial relationship week, I would say, was a rousing success. I'm not going to have a themed week next week. Every once in a while, I would say, maybe once every 2.5, 3 months, I do themed weeks. I had slut week. I had long-term relationship week. I had build a better woman week, which I turned into a 7-hour 5-part course. I might actually do that with this interracial relationship week. I might actually put all the clips together, minus all of the commentary and the talk and the commercials and all that stuff, and make that available as well. So that is going to conclude Interracial Relationship Week. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Redman Group. That is on the Redman Group channel. I, of course, will be joined by Steve the Dean Williams and others. Anthony Johnson is actually in Poland. Just got there. They're getting ready for the 21 convention in Poland. He's not going to be on the Red Man group because he is going to be jet lagged like a mofo. But I'll be there. Steve the Dean will be there, and we'll see what goes on from there. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.